go along with these new tires, we're going to completely rebuild the front end of a WJ. Now these are not completely shot, but they are doing the weeble wobble dance. There it goes. Pull it down here. Ow. Yeah. Heat and leverage. There it is.
Wait, that was supposed to happen?
What's up, Buck? Doug with D&E in the garage. How y'all like my new throne? I built it out of Rock Auto parts. I also have a 247 Scepter, which is fun. But you're probably more interested in knowing what's in all these boxes, and happens to be a story there. I did something that I haven't done for like 6 years. I bought new tires for my daily. Not new to me, not like they were in the junkyard and they looked pretty new. Like, I actually just bought new tires. Like new, like from a store. I know. I haven't done that literally since my my Grand Cherokee in like 2012. I think I bought some Cooper Discoverers. Every tire I've had for every daily since then has come off of another vehicle, in a junkyard, off of Craigslist, whatever. I almost had a heart attack when I found out how much new tires cost. Anyway, so I buy these new tires. They're going on Friday. I'll introduce them to you at another date. We'll talk about new tires. But I got to thinking. I said, man, I should probably protect these new tires, right? Actually rotate them and watch out for proper inflation, and maybe even fix some of the suspension issues in the front of the Jeep so that I don't just chew them up like my old ones. And that led me to go out to the Jeep, get underneath, start looking to figure out, and I was like, oh, well, that's a little loose, and that's a little loose, and I need some new tie rod ends, and looks like the control arm bushings are shot, and shoot, this track bar is a little bit loose, and well, one thing led to another, and before I knew it, I'd spent $450 on Rock Auto. Yeah, and that's sort of where we're at now. I have every suspension piece, or front end piece, possible for a WJ, including spring isolators are somewhere in here. We got new sway bar links, because they're fun. What else did we get? Let's start opening some boxes, and then maybe we'll dig in and do some work. The point is, to go along with these new tires, we're going to completely rebuild the front end of a WJ. Alrighty, first off the bat, we got all 4 tie rods. That's good. Lower control arm, axle side bushings, shiny new track bar. Sway bar links, that's good. I think mine are maybe not even connected anymore, so you know, honestly, this stuff might even be too nice for my Jeep. We might have to send some of this back and ask for some rustier stuff. Let's see. Oh yeah, we got all the parts in here. I bought new spring isolators. Nobody ever changes these things, and it makes such a big difference on the WJ. We did get ball joints. I may outsource that, just because I don't have a ball joint press. But we got our ball joints here. I got a buddy who does them. Yep, sway bar bushings. What's this? More ball joints. Probably control arms. For control arms. Oh, the bag's sealed. Take my word for it. All right, friends. Sway bar seems like as good a spot as any to start. So we're gonna pop this guy off. Like I said, we're pretty much doing everything here. Oh boy, because this Jeep is it's pretty rusty and crusty under here. I'm going to go ahead and assume that pretty much everything in the suspension is from the factory. Okay. There are 2 things that would make this a lot easier that I never seem to have. An impact gun and a friend. I wonder if I could train the dog to hold the other side of the wrench for me. That'd be pretty good, right? Oh, that'd be a hell of a trick. Right about now, I'm wishing I spent all the money on an impact instead of on a bunch of suspension parts for my 20-year-old Jeep. Oh well, maybe next time. My God, how long are these bolts? Oh, one side and other side. Okay, oh boy. Yep. There we go. Success. Ugh. That would have been a great time for Uncle Jerry to make a surprise stop by to give me a hand, but we got her. Let's get some fresh parts put on her. All right, first things first, nice and easy. Some new bushings from Mevotech. Nothing but the finest for these Jeeps. And by the finest, I mean whatever Rock Auto had that was cheap and could be here quick. How's that for a sharp knife? I guess I have some work to do on the whetstone tonight. Oh boy. 1, 2. Alright, now. Crack these old ones off. Always put the new ones back in the correct orientation. Otherwise they'll try to walk their way off. Now this one was definitely all worn out. It's got plenty of clearance there. Toss that bad boy aside. Oh, sneak this guy on, easy peasy, we're in business. It's about 6 or 7 horsepower right there. Another 4 or 5 for this side. Yep, we're in business. Now this one time, I had a Jeep, and I wanted to be the best Jeeper out there Jeeping, so I went ahead and bought what are they called? Poly bushings. I bought poly bushings for my control arm. I will never do that again. They are so friggin' loud. I know people swear by them. They last so much longer. The handling's better, but they squeak. I had poly bushings on the frame mounts. Holy Halliburton, Batman! I'm telling you, gave me a headache going anywhere. I had to turn the radio up. You know, could barely hear my lifter tick over the dang squeaking. It was downright distracting. Now another thing I did in my youth is instead of buying full new sway bar links, I would just get the rubber bushings. Well, the rubber bushings are like 15 bucks and a whole new unit is like 20. So, I mean, kind of a no-brainer there. Go ahead and get the new link, then you got some nice shiny parts on your Jeep. We're gonna put it in very loosely here and we'll tighten it down. And again, the other side, easy peasy. This has definitely added 30, 40, 60, 70 horsepower to the Jeep. Just in sway bar links, so you can take that to the bank. You'll see that on your quarter mile. I can't suggest enough that if your Jeep looks like it was parked next to the Edmund Fitzgerald for a few years, go ahead and spray this stuff the day before. Your future self will thank you. We'll spritz of the good stuff, PB Blaster, WD-40, whatever you got. A little bit of olive oil, anything, you know, it doesn't matter. Alright, I'm gonna sneak this under here and we're gonna maybe look at some tie rod ends. Alrighty, fellow monkeys with toolboxes, now that we've tackled a nice easy win, we feel good about ourselves, our confidence level is sky high. We'll start digging in, probably in descending order of difficulty, the next easiest thing being tie rod ends. Now these are not completely shot, but they are doing the weeble wobble dance, and I think compounding with all the other loose stuff under here was what was giving me the terrible steering wheel feel, and if I'm being completely honest, a touch of the death wobbles. So we're gonna rip all these guys out, and new tie rod ends on the track bar, or drive, geez, crackers, amateur hour. New tie rod ends on the tie rod, new tie rod ends on the drag link. Well, this is cute. It seems this Jeep has definitely been touched by Uncle Jerry before. Now, I did not do this, but this is 100% the kind of thing I would do. Oh yeah, buddy. Just jam a nail in there. What do you need a cotter pin for? Who even has a cotter pin? Where do you even buy those things, right? I don't even think they sell them. Just use a hammer and a nail. So yeah, I'm happy to know that in a past life, this Jeep was definitely worked on by a fellow monkey with a toolbox, and I approve. It's a heck of a lot easier getting a nail out of there than it is a 20-year-old cotter pin, I'll tell you that much. Ta-da! So what do you think the odds are that I can get all 4 tie rod ends banged out with just the BFH and not have to pull the pickle fork out? Let's see. Place your bets below. Oh. Oh. So far, no good. Well, there's 1. 2. There we go. Now for the hard one. It's pretty hard to get that Pitman arm one down without a, well, you know. Alrighty, let's see. Okay. This might be the wrong size fork. It's my hand, by the way. Suppose it wouldn't hurt to pull the rubber bushing off before I did all that, but oh, we don't have time for rational solutions. There it goes. Finally. Hot dang. Alrighty. Sure, super simple, right? This is the easy part. What can I say? Oh, everything's a little bit harder when you're just a monkey with a toolbox. It's the truth. Here we have one drag link and one tie rod. Alrighty, since all that unnecessary stuff is out of the way now, might as well pull the track bar down. Now, this is the only time in history it's ever paid off to have a huge friggin' oil leak. My track bar stuff is all doused in oil, so it shouldn't be too tight, I think. Yeah, there we go. And this is possibly the first WJ I've ever owned where the body side track bar mount wasn't wallowed out, so that's fun. 15 mil down here. Okay. There we go. Let's pull it down here. Ow. Hope you saw that. There's nothing fun about getting the upper track bar bolt out on a WJ, but it is what it is. Oh. You just gotta pry the bump stop out of the way. All right, track bar's out. Let's go get the new one. Nice, shiny new track bar to put in. I'm going to bend this tab down a little bit. We're just going to leave that bolt reversed. It's a heck of a lot easier than the way it comes from the factory. Ready? Just like that. You wanna know where that's going? That's going nowhere. Mint just made this WJ 15 to 75% more betterer. Alrighty, it's officially, what, the next day or 2 days later, we brought in the reinforcements, alright? My sister flew in all the way from Montana. Say hi to Jenny.
Hi.
Alex,
What?
Eric, Alex is her fiance. Eric, who you all know, stopped by. He's gonna do the control arms. So, Guido and I are working on tie rod ends over here. I think Eric's gonna slink under the Jeep and try to do some control arms with the big nut buster. And we're gonna be in business. We're gonna try to bang this all out tonight. My tie rod is giving me trouble, so I need to just buy the new sleeve. So we're not gonna have new tie rod ends on the tie rod, but drag link's coming along. Eric's gonna do control arm things. Then we'll do maybe some spring isolators, and we'll be freaking donezo. All right, let's give it a shot. Go back there. Yeah, heat and leverage always do the trick. Oh, this is gonna be a struggle. So in case you're wondering what the best tool for doing control arms on a WJ is, the best tool for doing these control arms is Eric. Eric's the best tool to have around.
Oh, almost got a face.
More or less.
Amateur.
Really?
It's the first thing I grabbed. I didn't expect to pull a half wrench out.
It's my custom Ford. Never mind, this is working for some reason. So,
Of course it is.
it's my custom Ford Windstar brake line wrench. We will be in business.
Oh, that's my isolator. Did you grab the other one?
I'm working on it.
I meant the other, like, new ones.
Oh yeah, my sister unpacked them.
Wait, that was supposed to happen?
Yeah, sure.
More gracefully. Oh, okay. Never mind then.
All right, here we go. One spring out. One very nasty spring isolator coming right behind it. Oh man, these isolators do not get enough credit for what they do for ride quality. Come on, give it to me.
I'm actually shocked you didn't get new springs, to be honest with you.
These aren't that bad. Okay. Oh, spring perch, mostly still there. All right.
Fix it, I'm not worried.
So, we got a brand new isolator here. This is the old one. You can see it's plenty worn out with the old. These things kind of thread on the WJ. That, yep. They got a little natural stopping point. This guy up top, like that. Oh yeah, this thing's gonna ride like a dream. Little spritz of the good stuff all around.
You used to do that to the other side.
Yeah, you said that. That's it.
And then that'll be it. That's all we're doing.
Well, tires.
Yeah, tires come Friday.
Oh, so you're not riding this tomorrow?
I am. This is all in preparation of new tires.
For once, Doug's not just doing a job and swapping, but nice and fresh.
Okay. Okay, do me a favor.
Yep.
Let that side down. Bring it over here and jack this side up. Make sure these are seating properly. Alright, keep going. Oh, it's a beautiful thing. I'll probably stop there. Spring is nice and seated. The spring-a-thing is spring-a-thung. We're gonna reattach the shock. Oh man. Hey Guido, you might be good luck. Everything's going pretty darn smooth.
Yeah, considering this is the D&E project.
I think we might need to keep her around. One more isolator to pry out. Oh yeah, that's nice and crusty.
How old do you think those are?
I think these are exactly as old as the rest of the Jeep. These were definitely put on in the factory because nobody ever replaces spring isolators.
Should I do that to Maybelline?
I don't think you have spring isolators. I think you have coils or something.
Yeah, I don't think this is an issue for you.
I'm just gonna rush home and do that.
You're gonna rush home and do isolators. There's some other things you can do on Maybelline though. Maybe we'll put together a good maintenance list. Any of you out there in the viewer world got a Patriot, what are some good things she can replace that people don't usually think of to replace?
This car has to last another 10 years.
It's gotta last a while.
It's a long time.
Fortunately, she's in Montana, I'm in Jersey. The car never makes it out here for me to give it the old Uncle Jerry monkey with a toolbox
Favorite
routine.
Doug's getting everything off.
Yeah, it's true. Another crusty isolator, that one's not as bad. Yep, these spring perches like to do the old Houdini routine and disappear, but
we know how to fix them.
these seem decent though.
I got it.
Huh. Well, there you go. Perfect, you can stop. All right, get some bolts in this, reconnect our sway bar, put some wheels on it, and then go upstairs. Be done with Jeep for tonight.
Empanadas!
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 Yes, the wife is making empanadas, so every minute I am down here working on a Jeep is a minute I'm not eating fresh-made empanadas. Alright friends, there it is. So we refreshed the front end of a WJ. We didn't do the ball joints. I'm going to pass that on to our buddy who does it for a living. He's going to run through it a lot quicker than I could. But everything else pretty much new. Control arms. We've got isolators. We've got track bars. We've got sway bar links. So I'm hoping that this thing rides like a new WJ now. That is indeed the plan. Big thank you to Jenny for flying all the way from Montana to hold that track bar for us. Thank you for Eric, as always, for rolling down the mountain just at the minute when I'm ready to give up and reminding me that impact tools are friggin' awesome. Somebody remind me of that when I'm at the store sometime so I can get myself one. Anyway, if you got any questions, by all means, leave us a comment down there in the squawk boxes. Let us know what you think. Here's the only thing though, please nobody tell Uncle Jerry that we didn't use junkyard parts. He'd be devastated. He'd be absolutely crushed if he knew that we put new parts in the Jeep instead of stuff we found on the side of the road. Anyway, if you like the video, by all means like the video, sub to the channel. Consider checking us out on Patreon, Etsy, and Teespring. So
Facebook. You forgot Facebook.
Facebook. Let me mention something real quick that I've been meaning to specify. Eric and I manage separate parts of the social media empire that is D&E. So if you comment on Facebook, you're talking to Eric 90% of the time. If you email us or comment on YouTube, you're talking to me. Not that it matters, but sometimes like I'll have...
Who will they choose?
I impersonate Doug really well.
But here's the thing, this is what happens, like people will hit me up and like continue a conversation in comments that they had on Facebook, and I'm like, I don't know who the frick you are, and I know it happens the other way around. So if you comment on Facebook and you don't understand why it doesn't sound like I've ever talked to you before, even though we talk all the time, it's because you're talking to Eric and he doesn't talk to you all the time. So that explains that. We almost had a video where I didn't ramble at the end, but then...
No, I was dropping things. I was being silly.
It wouldn't be a video then.
Exactly. All right, as always, thanks for watching. See you next time.
Toodles.
Cheers.
Cheers.